and he is lying here. He's my puppy. And this morning, he has been amazing because what I'm teaching him is to lay down like this, no matter what happens around him. But he's a 14-week-old puppy. That is one of the most unnatural things I could ever ask of him. So that means that his dog nature, whenever one of my kids enters the kitchen, actually asks him to jump up, go greet them, play. And what I'm trying to teach him is that he suppresses that nature and stays lying here. Now, how we do that with the dog is that every time he does something that we want him to do, we give him salmon biscuits. He is absolutely so fond of these salmon biscuits that every single time he is showing me what I want him to do, he's doing that. So we've been doing that for a few days, and now, this morning, he was just here at my feet on his mat, looking at me and being amazing. Now, this is really, really, really hard for a dog, not to jump up at kids, not to follow his instinct, not to just be all over the place, but to actually do what I want him to do. Now, here's the interesting thing. We're asking something of a dog that is against his instinctual nature to do. The interesting thing is, that's the same with us. Our instincts give us some ideas of what we want to do, and we have been training ourselves for 25 years to go against that instinct. That's all good because we want to be civilized human beings who are able to be a normal part in society, right? So what we've been trained to do is to be pleasant company, to be nice to grown-ups, to make certain that that we follow what is asked of us, to be nice to teachers, to be pleasant company, and to do as we're told. All these things actually have been trained just like with a puppy. But here's the thing. The last thing we want is to suppress the instinct where the dog is actually telling us something that we cannot see. Now, this dog is obviously, because I'm a trainer and I give trainings and I do trauma therapy, is also being trained to actually show me where I need to look when that is required. Now, that's not a training we're starting when he is 14 weeks old, of course, but we also want him to actually inform us of things that we're not seeing. This is where we come in as grown-ups as well, because the interesting thing is, yeah, we can be taught to suppress everything and all our instincts, but we also want to be trained when we are actually allowed to use them and how to do that when it's required. And that part of the training with human beings often is negated, right? So actually, just like a puppy, I have a hunting dog. It's a Nova Scotia duck talling retriever. And he's a little bit too round for the people who know that breed. He's a little bit too round. Yeah, there is something fishy going on there. That's a different story. The interesting thing is, his instinct is to hunt. Now, a lot of people are telling me, you should not go with him to hunting training because then you'll awaken that instinct. But the thing is, he has that instinct. So if I don't train him where he's actually allowed to use it, he'll use it in places where I don't want to see it. So yeah, to a certain extent, we want to be civilized people, civilized dogs. But to a certain extent, what we also want is to know where and when our instincts are appropriate and where we need them and where we can use them. I am highly sensitive. I can feel everything around me. That doesn't always mean that I need to act on what I feel. That would be the equivalent of the dog jumping up at everybody that he sees, right? The instinct is, I feel it, I have to act. I feel it, I have to act. The first 25 years of my life, I've been taught that that instinct is no good and that I should get rid of it. That's not the lesson that we need to learn. What we need to learn is, where is that instinct actually something that is required from the world, that's good, that we can use? Took me a while to get there. For the first 25 years, I thought if I just got rid of that instinct, I'd be able to survive. Then I thought, you know what? I'll use it secretly in my own little island, in my own small world, and then I'll be safe. Then I learned, okay, it's okay to feel everything, just don't act on it. Well, that's hell, I can tell you, right? Feel everything and don't do anything with it. That was a circumstance where I had to take 2 months off every once in a while, because only by taking 2 months off, I was able to process all of the things that came to me. And only after my 30 to 35th, I dealt with all the traumas that were causing me to suppress it in the first place. And I learned that it's not dangerous to feel these things. I don't always have to act on them. I can allow them to flow through me, and I can actually choose consciously where to use it, where to just let it flow through. Now, these are things that for me, it's high sensitivity, but for other people, it's very different. What we need to do is we need to know what our instincts are. We need to know where they're appropriate, where they're actually our talent, and then we need to know how we can actually use them and implement them. Now, this puppy is 14 weeks old, so he needs to learn how to be a civilized dog. But once he knows how to live together in harmony with people and with human beings, then we can start to train where his instincts are actually appropriate, where I want him, because otherwise he'll just be a kind of a rug lying on the ground. That's not the kind of dog I want. That might be a kind of dog for other people. I want a dog who informs me about what's going on in the people that I'm working with, so that I get a sense of things that I'm not able to see, but the dog is able to feel. And then we can work together. Now, for this type of dog, working together is the best thing I could possibly offer him. But in order to work together, first we need to be able to live together. Now, what I want you to get out of all of this is just to look at, hey, how am I actually working together with my instinct, or am I contradicting my instinct? Most entrepreneurs that I see are actually not working together with their instinct, but working together with a traumatized part of them, and trying to still get attention for that. And that's okay. That's just how trauma works. Trauma starts demanding our attention because it's being triggered. We need to move beneath that and underneath that. It can take a while, but it's the most worthwhile thing you could possibly do, because only then you become free on the inside, free to not react all the time, and not to be responding from trauma, and not to be reactive, but to be responsive. And that's a very different thing. This is what I wanted to talk about today. If you have any comments, just let me know. I'm going into my seminar room, giving a training seminar today, so I have to do my hair, and I have to take care of the dog, and I have to do a million things. And so that's what I'm going to do. But if you have any comments, let me know, because I'd love to have this conversation with you. Bye-bye. Have a great